and then we'll spend the rest of our time going over quizzes and reviewing and things like that for our test on Friday. So here we go. Section 3.1, Chapter 3 is all about graphing, and so we're going to start off by looking at the parts of the rectangular coordinate system. Hope that you've seen this before. Here are the parts. The horizontal axis is also known as the
X-axis.
X-axis, yes. So the x-axis is the horizontal axis. What about the one that points to the sky?
Y.
That's the y-axis. Yeah, so that's one way that people remember it. They remember that y points towards the sky. X is the other one, whatever. So y is vertical, x is horizontal. And then there is another special point. I'm going to try to mark it right there, smack in the middle, where the x and the y-axis meet. Do you guys know what that special point is called? It's called the origin. Yes, good job. Origin. So if we say, and sometimes that point where the x and the y-axis cross, sometimes that'll be marked with a big O for origin, sometimes not. I'd say most often it's not, but if you do see that, that's what it's standing for. Do you guys know what the coordinates are for the origin?
0,
0, 0, that's right. So since we've got a y-axis and we've got an x-axis, can you guys see how this, basically those two axes divide up the whole graph into 4 parts?
Yeah.
So we call those 4 parts quadrants. And the way the quadrants are labeled, this upper right-hand one is labeled quadrant 1. We usually use a Roman numeral 1 for that. And then we go counterclockwise. And so the upper left is Roman numeral 2. So that's the second quadrant. That color's not working that good for me. Roman numeral 3 for the third quadrant. And Roman numeral 4. Maybe red's going to work. IV, right there, Roman numeral 4 for the fourth quadrant. There we go. Maybe that's better. Okay, so you definitely want to have those memorized as far as what is the origin, what is the x-axis, what is the y-axis, and then quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. Definitely things that you'll want to have solid. You'll get a chance to practice those. Let me give you one example here just to make sure we're all in the same boat. I'm going to erase my quadrant numbers, and I'll erase my origin. So let's say, for whatever reason, let's say that you were supposed to graph a point. Let's say the instructions were to graph the point 2, -5. So here's what that means. If you're going to graph a point, you always start counting your point from the origin. So we would start right here at the origin. And what the 2 is in place of an x-coordinate, right? I'm assuming that you've seen this a little bit in middle school. So if the x-coordinate is 2, that's telling us to go which direction? Right 2. If it happened to be a -2, you'd go left 2. But we're going to go right 2. So that would be over there 2. And then -5 then would mean? Down 5. If it was a +5, you'd go up 5. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our point would be right there. So 2, -5 is right there. Does that make sense? I hope it does. You're going to get a chance to practice this right now. So if you notice down below, it says work with your table partner. So I think everybody's here today. And so if you would, literally the person that's sitting right next to you at your table, will you work with them to complete number 1, plotting those points on your graph? Ready, set, go. See how you all did? Just compare answers here. 3, 0. What that means is to go right 3, up and down 0. So 3, 0 would be right there. And I'll label that with 3, 0. Any questions on that one? It's right on the x-axis. All right. -2, 5 means left 2, up 5. So left 2 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Should be right about there. So I will label that with -2, 5. There we go. And then the next one is 1/2, -4. So this was a little bit harder to get in there because it's 1/2, but I'll just go halfway, one half to the right, and then down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right about there. So 1 half, comma, negative 4. And then my last one is negative 2, negative 4. So that would be left 2, down 4. I've got it right there. So negative 2, negative 4. We got to talk about the quadrants, but so far, do you have any questions on the graphs of those points? No questions at all? Okay. So Luke Smith, what quadrant, we'll go backwards here, what quadrant is D in? Quadrant 3, you are correct. And then we got point C, Gracie, what quadrant is point C in? Quadrant 4. You are correct. Gracie did a good job there. Then we've got negative 2, 5. Emily, how about that one?
2.
Quadrant 2. Anna, how about A? What quadrant is that in?
It wouldn't be in a quadrant, would it?
It's not in a quadrant, is it? It's right on the x-axis, so it's not a quadrant at all. So it's not in any quadrant. It's right on the x-axis, so there really is not an answer to that question. It's not in the first or the second, it's just on the x-axis.
What would you pick for an answer as that?
None of the above. Yeah. Yep. Okay, any questions there? Excellent. Let's move on to the next one. If you flip over to the next page, there is another work with your table partner option here. So if you guys would take a look at number 2. Okay, you all have had a chance to work through a lot of these here. Cooper, how about A?
2 and 3.
So 2, 3.
Yeah.
You got the right order there. Nice job. So 2, 3 for A. Should show up here in a second. There we go. Okay, next up we have B. Alec, how about that one?
We put that one at 0, 4.
You put that one in the right spot.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Question, Neil. You got an answer.
Answer.
What do you got for C?
Negative 3 and 2.
Negative 3, 2. I agree with you there. We doing well so far? Okay, Gracie. Say it again. Yeah, for D. Negative 3, negative 3. Totally agree with you there. Nice job. Let's see here. We got E and we've got F. Alana, how about E?
You got 0, negative 4.5.
0, negative 4.5. I think that's the most reasonable answer we could put there. I think that makes a lot of sense. Joel, how about you with letter F or point F?
1, negative 2.5.
1, negative 2.5. Again, I think that's probably the most reasonable answer you could put there. I think we're all good up there. At least 5 of us agree. What about the rest of us? Do we in agreement? Are there any questions? Okay, fantastic. So got one left here, number 3. Again, it's a work with your table partner opportunity. Says use the graph below to answer questions A and B. So again, I'll let you guys kind of work through this together with your table partner, come up with a good answer. We'll check it in a second. I don't know if that's a typo. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's make this a little bit more interesting, and let's do this. Let's make a little change. I don't know. I don't know why this would be in there the way that it is. Instead of 80 minutes before taping began for A, let's make it 20. That'll make it a little bit more interesting. So how many people were in the audience 20 minutes before taping began, and then I'm okay with B, I guess. I'm okay with B. Okay, so work away, A and B. Yeah, I have a very positive feeling about that.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear what we came up with for this one. Kendall, what did you guys come up with for A?
100.
So how many people were in the audience 20 minutes before taping? She says 100 people. Look at what you have. Do you guys agree that that is correct, 100?
Yeah.
I think it is 100. What we're looking at there, of course, is 20 minutes before would be right there. And when we're at 20 minutes before, the height is 100. So you could kind of draw in that little box there to say that that point is negative 20, comma 100. So 20 minutes before the show, there were 100 people in the audience. Okay, so then part B is kind of the reverse of that question. Garrett, what did you guys come up with for at what time before taping were there exactly 150 people?
With 10 minutes before they were exactly.
Yeah, 10 minutes before there were 150 people. And of course, we are looking at right here, 150 people. That goes with, it goes with 10 minutes before. So yes, I would say 10 minutes makes a lot of sense. Can I ask you, you know what? I think I know where the 80 came from. What if I were to ask you a third question? What if I said, after taping had ended, how many people were there at 80 minutes?
100.
Wouldn't you say 100?
Yeah.
We could be looking at this point right here.
Maybe.
Maybe that's what the intent was. Before and after kind of got mixed up there or something like that. So all kinds of different things I could ask. What if I asked, at what time were there 200 people in the audience?
When it just started.
That's what I'm taping.
When it began.
Well, aren't there lots of times when there's 200 people in the audience?
Yeah. But when
Oh, yeah.
Aren't all those times when there's 200 people?
That's what 7.
There would be a lot of different answers, right? So if you said anywhere between 0 and 70, you'd have to get credit, wouldn't you? So, okay, fantastic. So guys, that right there is 3.1. That's the whole thing right there. So we're going to pause for the moment, and I want to hand back your quizzes to you.